So, ¿qué pasa? It's the Earl. It's the land of the Earl right here, baby. Let's get the phone set and ready to roll. Hope you guys are doing well. I am doing well. It's Monday in Los Angeles, California. And it was a good weekend. Couple good streams. Good show at the Comedy Store. I am just getting over the cold. What up, Kip Smith? I'm much more clearer. I may have to blow my nose once or twice. Speaking of which, let's get this out of the way. Welcome, Hassan. I don't speak that language. But hit the like and subscribe button. But I can't even say that. You might be baiting me into saying something stupid. FJMW. Hello. Nah. Turkey here. Are you from Turkey, Hassan? Welcome. We welcome all nationalities in the Earlverse. I am fine. FJMW. Just doing a stream for my fans. And I see we have some trolls in the house. Come on in. Come on in. I don't know who else is streaming. And to be honest with you, I don't really care. I do my own thing here. We're like the little stream that could. And, it is hot. I would say it's very humid in Los Angeles. What's Earl? What's Earl is an interesting question. What is Earl? Yes, I will take that under advisement. Thank you very much. What up, Hi-Fi Protege? Associate producer Ralph. Why would I be reported? I have done nothing wrong. I've only given love. So, Samantha Starbuck. What's up? Bish. I don't know what that means. We've got some interesting people in the stream. Well, welcome from Iran. Be careful. Be safe. It's World War III over there right now. We got people from the Ukraine. I love it. I love it. For you new people, and I do see we have a few new people, hit the like and subscribe button. I could not afford to buy the Comedy Store. You have to understand, they own the land. I know Kevin Brennan was talking about this earlier, but being that I am a paid regular at the Comedy Store and have insight that most people don't. 110 in Palm Springs. The last time I went to Palm Springs, I was in Palm Desert. It was me, my ex-girlfriend, and our German Shepherd, Annie. And it was so hot, Annie could not walk on the ground. It was very, very hot. Yeah, but let me explain about, they own the lot, they own the building, they own the house attached to the driveway that leads up the to the parking lot in between the hotel and the Comedy Store. I know they just sold Hillcrest, which was the house that like Dice and Kinnison and Jim Carrey would stay in when they were struggling comics. They do own the condo in La Jolla. So, I mean, that land on Sunset, I mean, it's uncalculable how much money that is. And it's really, I mean, just the land alone. Forget the building. Forget the house. I would guess the house. So if you ever go to the Comedy Store, there's the Comedy Store, there's the driveway, and then there is the hotel. The house at the end of the driveway, I mean, that's got to be, I would say $7 to $10 million. Because it's a compound. It's not really just a house. So, I'm sure the hotel looks at the Comedy Store every day and go, that would make a great parking lot. But I'm going to guess that the Comedy Store might be a historical landmark. So I don't know if they could turn it into a parking lot. The land, Kip, it's 10 times that. I would guess that particular plot of land, and when I say prime Sunset, I mean prime Sunset, $100 million. I mean, I remember the last time, like I said, I was in Palm Desert with you know who and Annie the dog. We rented an Airbnb. So luckily for us, or I should say luckily for Annie, the backyard was in the shade so she could walk around and do whatever there. But there was no garage, so we parked in a driveway, and I burnt my hands when I touched the steering wheel when we got into the car. I literally had, I don't know, third-degree burns or whatever they were, but it was hot on another level. I mean, it reminds me of Brody's joke where you sweat in the shower. Well, that I don't know, Kip. I mean, I'm going to guess the Shore family owns it. And, the three brothers, I guess, would be in charge. And I'm sure, because I had heard an idea that if the Andaz bought it, now the Andaz used to be the Rock and Roll Hyatt, that you would put a Comedy Store in like the lobby or something. That could be plausible. I think the Comedy Store will always be there. Like whoever, yeah, and I mean, if you're the Shore family, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Peter, Paulie, and Scotty, they're all healthy and they're going to be around for a while. that's something that you probably want to hold on to. I mean, it's only going to get more valuable. And I'm sure they will one day get an offer they can't refuse. I mean, because to a Japanese, real estate tycoon, you know, they would have no problem throwing a couple hundred million at that land and turning it into a hotel, another hotel. So, yeah, Saudi billionaire. I mean, and that, I want to say that particular parcel is really the last like prime bit of real estate you could probably make a run at. I mean, I don't think the Rainbow will ever sell. I don't, the same owners own the Rainbow Whiskey and Roxy. I don't think that you would ever. I mean, I guess, the whiskey's right up the street from my house. I think that's got to be a historical building. So, I mean, I think the Comedy Store is probably the last true great parcel of prime Sunset that you can take a shot at and turn into a hotel. So, yeah, I mean, parking lots in downtown because there's really nowhere to park downtown. And so, if you own those parking lots, my God, I mean, you make, you know, probably a couple grand a day forever. I mean, it's just they're a license to print cash. So, what up, Big Daddy? I mean, real estate's where it's at. Trust me on that one. I mean, my family is in commercial real estate. I've had to take a crash course in commercial real estate. It's no joke. That's why I can do a live stream for an hour to 16 people and not have to beg for money, if you know what I'm saying. I do it for the love of the game. So, U.S. orders Tehran evacuation. I mean, it's getting real in Tehran, I'll tell you that much right now. Once the Comedy Store, the Whiskey, and the Rainbow Room leaves, there will be no reason to live on the Sunset Strip. I mean, like I said, I don't know if you can get rid of the whiskey. It's, I think, a historical landmark, and if you count pre-Comedy Store, that building when it was Ciro's, I don't think you can necessarily get rid of that. But I don't know. You know, my family specializes in buying plots of land and then leasing them to businesses. So, I mean, I'd have to have the king of LA real estate, Jay Lux, on. I think that would be a fascinating interview, even though you guys don't know probably who Jay Lux is. He is like the man in LA commercial real estate. If you ever are in LA, I guarantee you will see a for lease J Lux sign, at least two on every block. Yeah, that's Eddie Nash style Moses. But I mean, that's a tough one for the Shore family to think about. Yes, you could get. I mean, I'm guessing when I say the land's probably 100 million, just the land. Forget the building, and then the building and the, you know, man, it's, and if you include the house behind it, I mean and they just renovated the house, so it is. I'll guess. I mean, it's a multi-story house. It's an estate. It's not a house. Now, there's no pool or backyard, but I mean, you are literally there's very few homes that are in the middle of prime Sunset. I can't think of one that's actually on Sunset in that area except for that house. So, I don't have beautiful blue eyes, baby. I have brown eyes. EA Sports, it's in the game. So, See, this is what I love about the Earlverse. We can talk commercial real estate. I don't deal with psychos. I put them away. Um, yes, they own the house. It's not connected. Like you can't like go off stage in the main room and basically you have. How do I do this? Let's think of my three fingers. This is the Comedy Store. This is the Andaz Hotel. And a little bit back, I'm not trying to be funny with the middle finger. A little bit back is the house up the driveway. So you'd leave the Comedy Store, you'd go up you'd walk up the driveway into the house. And here's the hotel right here. So, yeah. John Cena, take out your golden shovel. Bury me, that's what you do. John, I'm sitting here holding three fingers. The middle one is for you. Shout out to Elias. What up, Chris Mack in the house? So, thank you very much. Jordan Reed, America. What up, Todd? What up, Todd? We're just chilling right now. I've been in her office. The last time I was in the only time I was in her office, me and John Sosis, who was the podcast producer of the wrestling podcast I did, we took Bray Wyatt into Mitzi's office. It's probably my favorite memory of the Comedy Store is bringing. I mean, Bray Wyatt, you think Bray Wyatt's wrestled in front of 100,000 people before. He was like a little kid in Mitzi's office because it is totally preserved from the 70s. I mean, it smells like the 70s. There are literally scripts from the 70s on her desk. But yeah, I marked out. I mean, I had never been in there before. But I think I've been told that no one now is allowed to go up there again. So, I mean, but I didn't watch the Comedy Store documentary. I was kind of mad I wasn't in it, at least on the roast battle part. Because really, roast battle was the first go-to show when the revitalization of the store happened. So, I had a big part in that. I think I could have been interviewed for a minute on it. I mean, I'm not sure why Annie Letterman was on it so much, and I love Annie, but like, I'm way more a Comedy Store comic than she is. But and I love Annie, but I mean, I don't want to turn into one of these comics who's always bitching about something, but that is true. I mean, yeah, yeah, you're probably right, Chris Mack, and Annie's really funny and she's edgy, very, very much a Comedy Store comic, but. It was just funny to have Jeff Ross on it because he didn't build the show, he didn't create the show. So when he's sitting there talking about the early days, it's like, bro, you weren't even there the first year and a half. Oh, thank you, Bob. I mean, I'm sure they're like going, I don't understand what this guy's talking about, but I mean, Binder's another fucking, I don't know what his deal is, but I mean, when I was taken off the roast of Adam Egan, Mike Binder was put on it and bombed for like 20 minutes. So there you go. And I respect him for being a pretty big comic in the 80s, but he's the furthest thing from a roast comic you can have. So it's really, what up, William? Zoom. William, you probably were right. I did a 4 a.m. stream last night, as you know, and no bots came into the stream. But maybe these people followed Yonder Wizard. Yonder Wizard's got a big Kill Tony following, so maybe it was the Yonder Wizard bump. I don't know. The internet is very tricky to figure out. That is for sure. That's awesome, TB. I mean, he was a stand-up in the early '80s, and then he kind of hit it big, after the Hollywood Nights. Um, Comedy Store paid regular, but when I was taken off the roast of Adam because of Jeff, they put Binder on, and like he walked people. So nothing personal, but um, yeah, I'm not saying all 700 followed him here, but I just that's really the only common denominator of that stream was as soon as Yonder Wizard showed up, you know, that's when the bots came in. So, yeah, I mean, I would say Binder was maybe 20, 21 in the Hollywood Nights. Another Comedy Store paid regular he was one of the doo-wop singers in the Hollywood Nights, T.K. Carter, when they sang Under the Boardwalk. In the park, you hear the happy sounds of the carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and french fries they sell under the board. You get the picture. My buddy, dad rented Jerry's 23 Tea Bucket, was in the Hollywood Nights. Oh, that's cool. Well, Moses, I loved the Hollywood Nights. That was one of my favorite early movies. Great cast. The story with the bots was, the other night I did a random stream at 4 a.m. I started at like 4 a.m., did about 50 minutes, and I was getting really tired. And I look at my TV, which was on. I had about 20 people in the stream when I looked at my TV. And then I looked back, and it was 450 people in the stream. And then maybe a couple seconds later, 650. And then it topped out at 700. And then for like the next half hour, it held at about 650. So I don't know what happened to Christopher Titus. But I love the Hollywood Nights. Even the two cops in it were pretty funny. Gallard Sartain, who was a pretty famous character actor. And I think the high school scenes were filmed at Beverly High. So, well, the problem with Titus, he had the TV show, and then, he didn't really get a lot of movie roles. So I don't know anything about his career, but I'm going to guess he can't act that well. So he probably got a few auditions. I mean, he was the lead in a TV show. That's going to get you auditions. And, I don't know. So, yeah, I just love those two cops. They were funny. I don't know who the other guy was, but Gallat Sartain, that movie makes me laugh, man, every time I watch it. It's not on TV that much, but, and here's, you got to be of a certain age to really care about stuff like this, but remember the blonde guy, the good-looking guy, Tarzan? You may have recognized him. He was the bartender in Bachelor Party, and he was also in the very short-lived TV show Making It. I'm going to have to sign up for Tubi. They seem to have a lot of shit on there. And the music in Hollywood Nights is great. What was it? Barbara Ann of the Beach Boys, Surf City, and the girls in that were really hot, like, California Surfer Blondes. Well, I'm going to go on Tubi right now. Oh, no, I don't mind paying for it. I mean, I pay for so many. I want to sign up for that thing it's like the phone app that tells you all the shit you're subscribing to. I would be afraid to find out Oh wow, you can just let me see. What else good is on um Tubi? I'm gonna look up Hollywood Nights here. Damn, it is on. Is Vice Squad on? Damn, they got some great. Let's see what happens. I might have to turn the volume down for 2 seconds just to watch the opening scene. Damn, you guys have really enlightened me. Two girls for every boy. I mean, a great cast. I'm gonna watch this. And you know, it was kind of one of those teenage angst movies where you know the Vietnam storyline was kind of a bummer. It was kind of very Big Wednesday-ish. You know, where Big Wednesdays, it's really not a surf movie. It's really a life movie. But the whole Vietnam thing, when they go there, um, was kind of a bummer to the laughs. And the same thing with the Hollywood Nights, where the you know the whole Jimmy Shine going to Vietnam was kind of a bummer. So, well, thank you guys. Thank you, William, for tuning me on into the wonderful world or Tubi. How does Tubi make money if no one like pays for it? You know, that's a little fishy, isn't it? Or am I, do they make money on ads that while you watch or something? What else is good on Tubi? Oh, ads. Okay, well that makes sense. I think I watch Tubi whenever I get my teeth cleaned. I I think they had all the James Bond movies, and I would just watch Moonraker every time I got my teeth cleaned. Earl, yes, World War III is happening. Miami Vice is on there. Oh shit, man! I might be going down a Tubi hole. Heyo. We can't watch Miami Vice on this stream. I want your best, Mandingo. We don't do all caps in here, baby. What up, SCVID show? This is the Earlverse. Only two people have all caps privileges, and that's Peter Chicken Man Brennan and Hi-Fi Protege. So thank you for understanding that. Damn, Miami Vice. I mean that. I tell you, those first two and a half seasons of Vice, pretty iconic. But Oilers are into, yeah, the Oilers. You know, I mean, listen, they've got the two best players in the world, and McDavid and Draisaitl, and you know Florida wants to take it home tomorrow, so it'll be interesting. Um, yeah, I mean, you know, it's on. I mean, Israel doesn't fuck around. Um, you know, I was reading on the Mossad. You guys know my obsession with the Mossad. Um, you know, they say the Mossad was in Iran potentially for as long as a year planning these attacks. that's just that's next level when your planning takes you that deep into the world. Saturday night it was awesome. I mean, a great lineup, old school paid regulars. Steve Marshall, he's really funny. I believe he's a New York comic. If you guys ever want to see a very funny older white comic, and I'm not around, Steve Marshall's very funny, and Bob Golub from Goodfellas, Howard Berger, he's an old school LA comic. Who else was on the lineup? Mike Favorman, Jason Galern, and of course myself and Holtzman closed out the show. Um, so, I mean, I'm just. Are you talking about the Mossad, Chris? Um, well, I just love. I'm a very vengeful person, as you guys know. I mean, you guys, the 16 of you that are listening, you're pretty much diehards. You know how long I hold a grudge for. I never let go of them. So the Mossad is very Earl like, or maybe I'm very Mossad like. I'll always get my revenge. Always. Um, oh, Jesus. Well, sorry to hear that. I wonder how my Dodge Hellcat would have been. 707 horsepower. It was a pretty fast car. Very heavy car, though, so it wasn't real fat. I mean, I never really juiced it that much, but yeah, Iraq and Iran, neither side's going to back down. So, Hard Bodies is on it. Is that the one with Paul Land from The Idolmaker? Man, I thought that guy was going to be a fucking star. Um, Hellcats, I mean, I can only speak to my Hellcat. Um, so the handling's a little stiff. I mean, it's a very heavy car, but it's fast. And when I was driving off the lot, the salesman was like, "Hey, you seem pretty cool, so I can tell you this. It's actually closer to 790 horsepower, but legally we're not allowed to tell you that." Um, well, no, I met, there was an AEW wrestler there called The Blade. He's part of the tag team, The Butcher and The Blade. And so I talked to him. I didn't watch anyone's set, to be honest with you. But I would need it in automatic. William and TB and some dude, do they make Shelby GTs automatic? I would definitely. But I've sat in a Shelby GT. Hello. They're very tight and cramped. I buy cars for comfort because living in Los Angeles, there's nowhere to drive fast. To be honest, this ain't the '80s, as TB will attest. You can't be going 100 down Van Nuys Boulevard. So, um, the only. Oh, they don't make Shelby's in automatic? That I'm out. There's too many hills around me. I'm not driving north on La Cienega worrying about, getting out of gear. Fuck that. Um, I would have, if I ever won the Powerball, I'd just have them make me a Shelby GT 500 automatic. It can be done for the right price. Earl needs a Scarface Cadillac with leopard seats. Either that or the Pimp's car in Magnum Force with the fur seats. Pink Cadillac. Um, but I've got to win the Powerball first, and then I'll make some outlandish purchases. Yeah, you better. He made that hoe drink Drano. Yeah, that's Albert Popwell. We talk about people in Miami Vice playing multiple characters. I believe Albert Popwell was in like 4 of the 6 Dirty Harrys. In the first one, he was the guy who Clint Eastwood said, you know, in all this excitement, I've kind of forgot how many shots I fired. Was it 5 or 6? And Albert Popwell was the guy on the ground going, man, I got to know. And then I believe in, what was it, The Enforcer, he was Big Ed Mustafa. And I know he was in Sudden Impact. And I think maybe one more. So, 7 Speed. Can you, Richard Kish, are we friends on Instagram? Can you send that to me so I could take a look at it? Um, oh, wow. Standard, too. That's impressive. I liked Magnum Force because a lot of great character actors in it. You had Robert Urich as one of the dirty cops, David Soul, Mitchell Ryan, who was General Peter McAllister in Lethal Weapon. Um, you know, the Tim Matheson from Animal House. Um, it's one of my favorite scenes when the dirty cops are in the parking garage and they're cornering Clint Eastwood. And he looks at them and goes, you heroes have killed 12 people this week. What are you going to do next week? And I think it was Robert Urich said, kill 12 more. And it's just such a powerful scene when Clint Eastwood says, I'm afraid you've misjudged me. And David Soul, I don't know if this was in the script or not, he just puts his head down and goes like this. Now, here's the funny thing about that scene, if you have seen Magnum Force lately. So they all kickstart their motorcycles, and none of them, Robert Urich, Tim Matheson, and the other guy, I think it was all 4 of them, actually. It's Robert Urich, Tim Matheson, David Soul, and the other guy, I forget his name. They all drive off. Well, apparently, as soon as they drove off, they crashed because none of them could ride bikes. But if you watch that scene, Clint Eastwood never breaks character. They didn't stop rolling. So it's pretty fun tidbit of information. Um, no, David Soul. Oh, David Soul said the line. I mean, I'm pretty sure Robert Urich had one line in that scene, and then David Soul. You know, I might be. Let me see. You heroes have killed 12 people this week. What are you going to do next week? Kill 12 more? I thought it was Robert Urich, but I could be wrong. You think U.S. should get involved with Iran? Well, I mean, we can talk politics in here. I mean, you know, my view of that whole thing is it's so far away from us that let them figure it out. Um, but, you know, I guess we're partners with Israel, so we kind of have to get involved. But we got our own problems in the U.S. Me personally, I'm sick of helping out other countries when they don't help us out. So, you know, we're so hated over there that we're never going to be seen in a positive light in the Middle East, ever. It's just the way it is, man. So, you know, it's a tough one. I mean, you know, the U.S. is just not liked in that part of the world. And I don't think we ever will be, no matter what we do, no matter what good we do. We're still the gringo outsiders invading their turf. Now, is it scary to think if we just bailed? I don't think Israel and Iran are going to be good negotiating partners. So maybe they need an intermediary, but why is it always the U.S.? Why doesn't Japan help out? Was it Russia? I mean, Russia probably, they got their own problems, but, why doesn't the UK help out? Why is it always got to be us? Now, I realize that's very simplistic, but, if you were wondering which side Earl is on, he is the Mossad. I mean, you know, I guess I'm on Israel's side. I don't want the Mossad coming after me. But what is Iran's version of the Mossad? I know they have Hezbollah, and you know, I'm assuming Iran has their version of the Mossad. But what up, Hulk Hogan's flights? Hello. Oh, okay. Thank you, Chris Mock. Chris Mack. Uh, oh, okay. I mean, I just, for some reason, the Mossad will always scare me the most. I mean, what did they do? That assassination attempt? Or no, it wasn't an attempt. They killed a guy a couple of years ago when they did it with cell phones. And they tracked his location, and they left like a bunch of cell phones near where they thought he would be. So when he walked by, they would just blow up the cell phone. I mean, that's some next level shit. Yeah, I mean, the Mossad doesn't really seem to have a lot of remorse. I mean, because in the 72 Olympic attack, they killed everyone, but I think the main planner, and they killed some guy who looked like the main planner. And then when it came out that it was like a false ID, the Mossad was basically like, oh, well, mistakes happen. So, and I believe that only like one of the 12 people responsible for the 72 Olympic attack never got killed. The other 11 killed. That's me in LA comedy. And I wish I was a better person and wasn't so vindictive, but it kind of gives me my charm, to be honest with you. I mean, there is a certain charm about a comic in his 50s who holds grudges from 10 years ago. But that's why you guys love me. I'm Earl. I'm Rick James, bitch. So, not that our own in television. Oh, I'm sure we have some pretty brutal. I mean, another guy that I'm obsessed with. He used to go on CNN a lot. Bob Baer, Baer. He was like an ex black bag CIA operative. I used to love watching him talk because they're interviewing him, and he's this mild-mannered looking white guy. Looks like he could be an executive at a fucking mobile phone company. And this guy's killed people. He's tortured people. So they should have a Olympics of all the countries' intelligence agencies. Like imagine the 4x4 relay with the Mossad against the CIA against, I don't know, the Imperial Guard. Yeah, we're doing it all Monday. We just don't talk about pro wrestling and hockey. But we do it all here. I mean, I try and make this stream as interesting as possible. Yes, we can talk LA comedy, but we can also talk about World War III, the Mossad, ex-girlfriends, booty calls. You know the deal. I mean, I know my stream's being monitored, so I've got to watch. No, I'm just kidding. It's not being monitored. I bet, Jenna. I bet. I mean, I'd be too afraid to go over there. I mean, I'd kind of want to go over there and visit the pyramids and shit, but I hear like white people who look like me are great kidnapping targets. You imagine me in a beheading video. They'd have to use like 2 chainsaws to chop through this head. Trust me on that one. I'd be doing bits the whole time. Hey, I hear you guys give good head. Oh. Do you have any last words, Mr. Skakel, before we chop off your head? Yeah, hit the like and subscribe button. Hello. No, no, no. That's a good Kiss song. What's mine is yours, and what's mine is mine. No, no, no. Oh, Jesus. Credit as Digger. I thought that said something else. Albert Popwell, great character actor. Jesus, a Sleaze Bees reference. That's a. Why don't you ask me what my favorite Peppermint Creeps song was they did live? Oh, that's a Peppermint Creeps reference is a real deep, 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 deep cut. Um, so, well, that's why we lose all the wars over there. We can't, that's why it took us so long to get Bin Laden, man. We couldn't fucking climb into those nasty mountains. You just got to bomb the shit out of them. The bunker buster. So what about the Plasmatics? I like It's My Life. The 1984 album, well, it was really a Wendy O. Williams solo record. It wasn't a Plasmatics album. It was a Kiss, basically the Lost Kiss record. You had Eric Carr on drums, Vinnie Vincent on the electronic guitar, and Gene Simmons credited as Reginald Van Helsing on bass. Um, Hold on here. Oh, that's cool, TB. Well, I don't know much about war tactics, William Zoom, so I will. Well, that's where the U.S. comes in, Chris. We just help them out. I mean, can you imagine if the Mossad and, I know we have a secret branch of government. Like, yes, we have the CIA and, like, SEAL Team 6 and whatnot, but we have basically a U.S. version of the Mossad that we don't even know about. Um, the damned great plasma. Yeah, well, the guy from the Plasmatics owes me pictures. The bass player, Jean Beauvoir. Oh, wait a minute. That's enough war talk. Look who's up. Hey now, ACDC. What up, Los? Say hello to the fans. Los got a little mohawk working right now. Yeah, those pics are in the mail. My ass. Look how cute she is. She's gonna go get some water now. Yes, Lois is the ruler of LA. Just checking the front door, make sure everything's cool. She knows she's on camera. She's no dummy. And she's going back to bed. What up, TB? Who was the maniac from Cobra you had on that time? That was the great Brian E. Thompson. I believe the only person to be killed by Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and Van Damme in, I think, not Kickboxer. What was that movie he did? It's like a real obscure, like pit fighting movie where the bad guy looked like Andre the Giant. Um, Lionheart, I think. So he was a cool guy. I mean, he's the definition of a working actor. I mean, he's been working in films literally the last 40 years. He does a lot of straight to video or, what now is streaming, you think, oh, this guy hasn't worked in years, and he's probably done 50 fucking films. So it's very interesting. Um, you know, when it's kind of like Carrot Top. Everyone, I haven't seen Carrot Top in a couple years on TV or the movies. He's making millions in Vegas a month. Carrot Top is doing okay. Thank you very much. Yes, that is his real face. Yeah, she was cute. The bad guy was someone I never saw after Lionheart. The guy who looked like Andre the Giant, and I think, let me look up what ended up happening to that dude. Let me straighten this out for you guys. We got 8 more minutes, and then I will go on my merry way. Let's see here. Yes. So the bad guy, Deborah Renard was her name. And who was the bad guy? All right, let's go on IMDb. Often more reliable. All right. That guy was a big fucking dude, I'll tell you that much. All right, Harrison Page, Deborah Renard. Brian Thompson is Russell. Man, this guy's not even listed in the credits, the bad guy. Man, this not that man, I can't even see the guy's name listed in here. Who was the bad guy in Lionheart? Let's check out. Let's see the Wikipedia page. Yes, Wikipedia does have a page for Lionheart. Attila. Let's see. Attila Abdel Kisi. Damn, that's a big guy. 65 years old. Political career. Abdel Kisi is a Moroccan-Belgian actor, former professional boxer with 8 recorded fights. He debuted in the film Lionheart. He went on to appear with Van Damme in 2 more films, The Quest and The Order. Well, I guess his brother was in Bloodsport. He was the guy who Chong Li broke his leg and it split open. Oh wow! He did something in 2024. Attila, The Last Kumite. Interesting. Who the hell was in The Last Kumite? Billy Blanks. Wow, Billy Blanks was 4th in the credits. That's not a good sign. Bolo Young's son, David, appears in the film. Interesting. Wow, I mean, that is not a good sign that Billy Blanks is that high up in the credits. No offense to Billy Blanks. I took his classes at his Taibo studio in, I believe it was Encino, if I'm not mistaken. But what do I know? I just work here. Yes, I remember I took his classes were packed. Trust me on that one. All right, guys, we got about another 4 minutes before I Yes, Kolchak the Night Stalker with Darren McGavin in the great Schwarzenegger film Raw Deal. Gamboo. I guess he has a point. The great John Vernon. When a naked man is chasing a woman through a dark alley with a butcher knife and a heart on, I figure he isn't out collecting for the Red Cross. He's got a point. I mean, I loved those first three Dirty Harry movies. And, you know, Leilani Montgomery in the house. Leilani, you sent me a message on Reddit. I responded. I'm not on Reddit a lot, so if you'd like to continue our conversation, hit me up on Instagram, please. I go on Reddit maybe once every 4 months. So, but The Enforcer, which is the movie, the third in the series where Tyne Daly becomes is really one of the first buddy cop movies. And the bad guy, what was his name? Devon Bookwalter. He did not have a long career, but I thought he was a very good bad guy. Kind of a good-looking guy. Really, one of the first. There's a lot of innovations in the early Dirty Harry movies. Devon Bookwalter was really one of the first good-looking bad guys. In the '60s and especially the early '70s, you had the bad guys who looked like Brian E. Thompson. Hart Bachner's dad, Lloyd Barkner. I mean, he was a good-looking guy, but he was kind of like a weird, bony face. Devon Bookwalter was like, hey, this guy's kind of good-looking and can play an evil dick. So thank you, though, Gamboo, for that scene from Dirty Harry. It's Jim Carrey. I didn't love that movie. Sharky's Machine was great. That's one of my favorite Burt Reynolds movies. And the great Dar Robinson with, I believe at the time, and it still might hold, although I would think there'd be a stunt that probably topped it, the largest free fall in Hollywood history. I mean, in terms of Animal Kingdom, I mean, I must say Chandler got me into that show, and I was like, I didn't really want to watch it. She's like, it's like Point Break meets Sons of Anarchy. I mean, I think the first season they really developed the characters, and they established the relationship between Ellen Barkin and each son. I mean, and they pretty much, they do several jobs a season, but I guess the pattern you would say is that they have one big job, and that takes up the chunk of the episodes. So, yes, he played Johnny Squares in the last Dirty Harry movie. Of course, Clint Eastwood is now, I believe he's 95 years old. That would be cool if he did one more Dirty Harry movie and he was like senile and just shooting people. And of course, Liam Neeson was also in the Deadpool. So we'll go another 2 minutes, guys. If you got any last minute questions or you want to throw in some lines from the first three Dirty Harry movies, please feel free. Gamboo, here's one for you. What movie is this from? Yeah, my brother was in here last week. Bald, gold tooth. His name was Larry Dickman. Remember him well. That was not. It's interesting that Sudden Impact gets credit for the "Go Ahead, Make My Day" line, but the that line was said in the great villainous movie Vice Squad when Gary Swanson said it to Wings Hauser on the couch when he puts the gun in his mouth, and Wings Hauser's like, shoot, come on, shoot me, cop. And he's like, make my day. So I'm not saying Clint Eastwood stole from Gary Swanson, but it is a very that was I think it was in the Enforcer when he goes to find the prostitute working, and Big Ed Mustafa told him she works at this massage parlor downtown, and he went up the stairs and, yeah, my brother was in here last week, bald, gold tooth, Larry Dickman. um, I mean, yes, Clint Eastwood did all right for himself. I don't know if Larry Dickman was Clint's nickname. I'm not quite sure on that. I'll have to get back to you on that one. But I love those first three Dirty Harry movies. And really, there was a fourth Dirty Harry movie. I don't know why they didn't just call it a Dirty Harry movie, but it's one of my favorite Clint Eastwood films, and you never really hear it talked about. Is the 1977 film The Gauntlet? When what was Clint Eastwood's name in The Gauntlet? Ben Shockley. So that's a movie that if you like Dirty Harry movies, it's basically a Dirty Harry movie. Kind of like the Wendy O. Williams solo album from '84 is essentially a Kiss album because they're all on it. Can you do something cool? I can't for money, Cole. I mean, you just, you don't come in, we've been doing this stream for 63 minutes. I haven't asked for money once. And you come in, can I do something cool? You got to show me the money, honey. EA Sports. It's in the game. All right, you guys. Earl Skakel. We'll go 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. We'll hit the 65-minute mark. Okay, I'm sorry, Cole. I came in hot. Hit the like and subscribe button, will you? Yeah. When he starts asking them about the law. Hey, Charlie, this is my chopper. Hell, this is my gun, Clyde. Escape from Alcatraz, another great Clint Eastwood movie. The Anglin Brothers, what are you doing here? We encountered a minor problem going over the wall in Atlanta. What was it? They saw us. Hoo! Of course, one of my favorite lines I can't say on this stream, but when Clint Eastwood walks up the stairs where all the blacks are. Now, I figure there's 2 reasons you didn't sit next to me. Either you're scared or you just hate Newports. And Clint Eastwood just sits down and goes, yeah, I just hate Newports. I was in the movie theater alone. I was like, huh? I mean, I don't know. That would be a tough line to get. I mean, there's movies that say the N-word. I mean, Tarantino, what was it in Django Unchained? It said like 100, whoa, said like 100 times or something? I don't know. So, all right, 30 more seconds, guys. And then Earl Skakel will be off and doing Earl Skakel things. So, Jaws is a great... I did see it pretty early. I mean, it was at the... And just so you know, I'm not bullshitting Zoom. I saw Escape from Alcatraz by myself in Century City at the old school Plitt, P-L-I-T-T movie theaters, which was an awesome place to go see. It was like the alternative to Westwood. Lois, I'm trying to do a stream here. And I went to see a lot of movies by myself there. Of course, yes, I might play a game. Uh-oh. Lois has to go potty. When she comes to my feet, she gotta go potty. Lois, you gotta go pee-pee? Lois, you got pee-pee? You got a pee-pee? All right, the queen has to go pee-pee. Hit the like and subscribe button. 100%, that's a fact, Jack. Earl Skakel, over and out.